Good afternoon, sir. My name is Ajin Kola from Oshinowo Associates Company. I'm here to to ask about something and what you understand by it. Sorry, sir, what is your name, please?
My name is Kingsley Friday.
Mr.
Kingsley Friday.
Kingsley Friday.
Yes.
What do you understand by town planning, sir?
Well, in a nutshell, in a primary nutshell, like the name goes, town and planning. There are two different words in the town and planning. So it simply means how a town or a city is planned. And in planning a city, planning a town, there are so many factors we need to look into. And also depends on the kind of town you are planning. If you are planning a mega city, then a whole lot of things are involved. One, arrangement of the houses. Two, the population intake. And then three, you have to also consider, movement of the population within the town. How the people are going to be moving from one part of the town to the other. If there is no proper structure and planning on transportation within a mega city town planning, then you are going to be choked up by traffic congestions and a lot of things. Also in town planning, you need to also consider hygiene, because with the influx of people in the town, there is going to be actually the generation of refuse. There is going to be waste generation. How do you arrange the disposal of this waste is also a factor to be keyed in when you are planning a town. And then three, we're also going to consider water. If you are planning a town of maybe 10 million people, you need to also make provisions for water reservoirs that will take 10 million people. If you are planning a town and you have a population of 30 million people, and then you have a provision of 10 million water reservoir, of course you know that that town is going to be thrown into water shortage. And you know the effect of what water is, the disadvantage of water to the human SNPC. So planning a town, these are the factors you have to look into, the basic factors. Transportation, that is the movement of people from one place to the other. You also need to look at waste disposal. Like Lagos State, for instance, they are doing a lot. You can see in terms of waste disposal, they have the Loma trucks moving from house to house, street to street to dispose this waste. We have the recycling bin where these waste are recycled, and then the other ones have been disposed. You also talk about water. Most mega cities, you see pipeline water running, people can have access to water. Transportation in a mega city like Lagos ought to be very circular. What to mean is that people should be able to move by road, move by sea, then equally move by air. So in planning a town, you have to ensure that there are adequate movement points and facilities so people can move. And for instance, one of the problems of traffic in Lagos State is because most of the roads are not accessible, they are under construction, and then the waterways are not fully accessible. For instance, someone coming from Ikorodu to CMS, he has no business coming to the road by 12. He just take a ferry from Ikorodu in less than 15 minutes to CMS. But because our waterways are not, safe, and there is no adequate emergency response in terms of, or in cases of maybe accidents in the water, or maybe capsized boats and all that, there is no effective emergency response. Though there is emergency, but they are not effective. So you see a situation where there is a boat capsized, people die. A lot of lives are lost. So, but if we have a situation where we have a well elaborate, a well comprehensive waterway transportation, where thousands of people can move by transport by the sea, while the roads are there, you find out that there will be congestion on the road. We equally talk about rail. Rail transportation is a very modern way of moving people in mega city that is well planned from one point to the other. For instance, if you go to London, people live in central London and work in Amsterdam, in just a distance of maybe just like from Lagos to Benin. So, and you now discover that And these people do this with the space of 1 hour. They call it tube train or electric train or light rail. So we found out that a light rail, it goes has about 25 people. Now, if the train has about 10 coaches, so you are now talking about 25 times 10. So you find out that in a space of 1 hour, about 250 people are moved from one point to another point within an hour. And if you multiply that by 10 different coaches, you are talking about 25,000 people moving from one point to another point in less than 1 hour in a fully comfortable manner without traffic. So that is the essence, that is the beauty of the rail system, the mega rail system. So, but in Lagos here we don't have it, even though the government is trying to set up the blue rail that is all now. We shouldn't know when it will commence, but this federal administration has assured the notion that very soon they need to be, need to be on. So, town planning is nothing but, the effective way of setting up, a town in a way that the inhabitants and even visitors of the town will have easy access to movement, easy access to affordable water, easy access to disposable waste, and then there is also what we call security modulated structure. In a well-planned environment or town, the police stations are made accessible. The airports are made accessible. So these structures are very integral. Even in the housing systems, there is also a well-structured town planning program. You don't just erect the house anywhere. You don't erect the house on the drainage to avoid inflow of water. You don't erect the house on the bridgeway. So the government has their own agencies that ensure that this plan, the draft of the town is well complied with by other structural engineers that want to erect buildings. And I think I have to commend Lagos State government in that respect too. They are doing a lot. All the local governments have their what they call development agency also that go around to check, make sure the physical structures are not erected on waterways and all that, even the one they have been pulled down. So town planning is a very broad topic of discussion if you want to look at it from a very large perspective. It involves a whole lot of things, but primarily the few things that are very key is what I've mentioned to you now.
Okay. Why do you think we need town planning in the country, in the society, or in a state?
Planning a town is very key. If you don't plan a town, you are just automatically you'll be having a state of anarchy, especially when people do whatever they like, and that brings them apart, brings them from another. If a town is not well planned, the roads are not well structured, people do other things, so it results to increase in crime, it results to discomfort in your living.
Okay.
So town planning is very key. Just like you want to, or you are a staff, you are working somewhere, you want to rent out, but you need to plan. You need to plan what you want to do. So planning a town is very essential because the advantage outweighs the disadvantages. A town that is not well planned, you'll be having issues of crime with at a very high increase. You'll be having issues of traffic congestion. You'll be having issues of epidemics because the sewages are not properly disposed. So you find out that a lot of things, the atmosphere will be so ticked with a lot of issues, a lot of health challenges, reports, and so on. So planning the town is key.
Okay, Lagos State as an example, how do you think we can plan it?
Well, Lagos State, as far as they are concerned, Lagos State is, I wouldn't say a mega city. Lagos State is a mega city. Even the third officials of a mega city is supposedly supposed to be a mega city, but Lagos State has been the capital of Nigeria. And as the capital of Nigeria before the movement of Abuja, we found out that all the structures needed to bring about economic growth and development was already in Lagos State. For instance, all the international airports was already in Lagos, the local airports were here, so people could fly in from abroad and then the other places. All the embassies in Nigeria had their head offices in Lagos. all the financial institutions and banks have their head offices in Lagos. All the security agencies in Nigeria, the DSS, the police, the military, they all have their head offices in Lagos. So Lagos was already a plan, every structure you need to bring about the economic development of the state, as it were, as a capital of the country, was already in Lagos. So all the government needed to do was probably to maybe expand, make some little expansion to accommodate the influx of people that were coming in. If, for instance, Lagos, I'm not too exact with the statistics, but I know the population of Lagos should not be between 20 to 30 million in and out. You know, so all the government needed to do was to develop the interways. For instance, there are other sub-urban areas in Lagos that needed to be touched. You're talking of Ekpe, people are there. You're talking of other parts of Lagos. Before now, those parts were interior, but with the growing population of Lagos, find out that people are now migrating to those areas in large numbers. So they need good road network to access the town and to move in. Even there also, they need well-ranged structures, government structures to move in. They equally need good medical care, good hospitals for access, because if someone dies and there is no morgue to throw the corpse in, and the people are not buoyant enough to bury immediately, the corpse litters out there, it gets decomposed. Of course, it becomes an epidemic to the society. So there is a whole lot that Lagos has achieved, being quote unquote the initial capital of the country. So all the government need to do is, like I said, expand. The government is not doing bad in that regard. You can see some of the roads being under construction, like what they call it, the Lagos Ibadan Expressway is under construction. So many roads are under construction. The government is clear about this. Like the light rail we just talked about now, any moment from now they'll be launching it. If you go to Ikeja, you see a lot of flyovers being developed to direct vehicles off some paths to decongest traffic. So the government, to an extent in Lagos State, is trying. They are doing their best. You can see in terms of movement of people, there's the BRT that was introduced. There are buses moving people from one part of Lagos to the other and bringing them back, even though they are not enough. Like today, I spent roughly 6 hours between Makurdi and Ojota to this office, and then going back, I spent another 6 hours, so 12 hours. But if we had a light rail system, if the transportation system was well planned, why would they spend 6 hours in the traffic? Some people are spending 7 hours, 8 hours in the traffic. So that is not the future of America. If you go to China with about almost 2 billion population, you can't experience the kind of traffic we have in this country. So for me, to a great extent, I would score Lagos maybe 70%.
Thank you very much, sir.